very good morning. I know this has been so eagerly awaited, but great to be with you here at Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Dave Bradford, back for another launch on our very own channel. Lovely Carla's here, Taz is in the corner as well. We're all here for you, and we'd love to hear from you as well. Get in touch via, of course, YouTube or Facebook and say hello. But this is all about what we're all kind of going through at the moment. I mean, the weather yesterday was atrocious, absolutely awful. So probably if you're like me, maybe you're at home, maybe you're doing your favourite hobby, a bit of crafting, card making, whatever it might be. The wind's blowing, it's chucking it down, and you're there in your own little kind of bubble. And you're thinking to yourself, this is nice. I feel warm, I feel cozy. The elements can chuck whatever they want at me. That doesn't matter. I'm happy where I am. And that's really what this is all about. This is about a lovely kind of cocoon of warmth and kind of almost like a cuddle from your surroundings. And that's what Warm Greetings is all about today. It's the first time you've seen it on our very own channel. And if you want to order it, I've got to let you know already 30%, or a third now actually, of the entire collection has gone. And also one of the other items in the show is proving massively popular as well. I'll show you that in a second. First thing that stood out to me was you get 3 different sizes and 3 different shapes of these amazing nesting frames. Look at those. I mean, what would you pay for each of those on their own? Probably 30, 35 pounds. Well, when you consider you're getting all of those, and you're getting these wonderful floral arrangements as well, the welcoming arrangements, and you can make your arrangement however you choose because you've got the individual elements to do that. And then down the bottom, that's where you get the kind of warmth and coziness because you've got your wonderful accessories there. And if you look at the accessories, you've got the umbrella, you've got the rain mat, you've got the hats and caps there and the welly boots as well if you're taking the dog out for a walk over the fields or whatever. And then the shoe rack is there too. And then you also get your Wellington boots in a slightly larger size as well for perspective. So some could be closer to you, some could be further away. And when you see the finished cards, they are absolutely magnificent. I'll show you one of each of them to start off with. There's one of the ovals with the florals in the centre, which is magnificent. The next shape you see is a label shape that's been made into a gorgeous easel card, which as you can see there is superb. Janine Dawson has done that one, spectacular. Then next we've got the rectangular frame, which can be straight-sided or it can be very elaborate with the beautiful foliage going around it as well. But maybe you've got a porch at home. Maybe you've got a little kind of entrance kind of vestibule where you live and you've got all of your wet weather gear there, but you're indoors, it's nice, it's cozy, it's wonderfully warm. If you want this today, it's 240213, brand new to us at, of course, Carnation Crafts TV today. The easiest way to order is on our website, which is carnationcrafts.co.uk. You know that by now anyway. And also look at the deal. It should be £130.96. Our price usually though will give you a discount down to £114.99, but today as it's launch day you get the best deal. The best time to order it is right now. It's under £100, and as ever all the artwork, all the vignettes is there at carnationcrafts.co.uk for you to print off right now, so you can print the artwork right now and look forward to the dies arriving hopefully tomorrow, if not tomorrow the next day. Under £100, and it is available, of course, on PayPal, ClearPay, and PayPal Pay in 3 as well, if you want to spread the cost interest-free. Carla's here. Morning, my love.
Hello, lovely. Are you all right?
I'm good. I'm good. Oh, by the way, one more thing. I've got to show you the ornamental stand. I meant to do that. Ornamental stand is like an easel, but the most elaborate easel ever. This 60% of the stock of this has gone, so I don't want to kind of panic anyone, but there is that sense of urgency if you want to get hold of this. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Think of what you can have stood in that stand. I just recently bought a piece of artwork recently and I bought an easel to go with it. I didn't want to put it on the wall. I wanted it on an easel in my lounge. It looks great. So an easel is very, very beautiful, very practical. You can slot all sorts of things in there and it works so well with this collection too. Janine Dawson's done that one as well. Look at that. Look at the artwork for the easel too, it's spectacular.
It's really clever because not only is it a stand for cards, so you can actually make it separate to the cards that you make, so your cards will stand on it, or it can be a card base and you can make cards from it. So it is both. It's neither one nor the other. It is independently, you know, beautiful for both.
Do you know
and
what
we'll
I'm
have a look
thinking?
at that.
I'm just thinking, if you do sell your cards to raise money for yourself or for good causes, you could actually have all the cards that you're selling, rather than laid flat on a table, put them all on those easels.
Well, even, you know, the cost of acrylics, etc., that we use when we're at craft fairs in order to stand our cards up, they're not necessarily pretty, are they? We now get to have a really beautiful shaping for them. And especially if you're doing cards for things things like animal charities, where the vet or wherever may have that on display, you've now got this gorgeous stand for it as well. But great for table numbers, great for different accessories for your home. When we're doing dinner parties, Christmas dinners, those kind of things, it'll work for that as well. It's been obviously insanely popular. It's gorgeous. Of course it's popular. It's beautiful. So absolutely grab it while you can, because it's not going to last.
That price is remarkable. I was thinking about £50 for that when I saw it. £29.99 is all that is. That's available separately. You can buy it with the main collection too if you want to too. And it's 240218, the item number, if you fancy popping that in your basket. But the stock is going quicker than we anticipated, only 40% left.
Yes, yes, of course. Right, let's have a look at the boards. Let's see what you're getting in this gorgeous collection. So the first thing we've got, obviously, are your fruitful filigree frames, which is not the easiest thing to say. You have got 3 of these. They are very clever. They're beautifully engineered. We have 4 strips going across here, each one with pip marks going across, and you can actually visibly see those pip marks here. What that allows me to do is cut away either 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them. So I don't need to have those in there at all, or I can choose to have a certain amount. If I cut this twice, once in a colour for instance, so let's say it was a pink, and I cut away the 2 white ones, the 2 pink ones below it will show instantly without any effort on my part. I've created a layered aperture. Layered apertures being one of the most annoying things to make for crafters, because we have to do a lot of measuring when it comes to this. We don't have to. Carnation have taken the headache out of it for us. We don't have to do that. Beautifully designed filigree on here with a lot of cut work detail on here. So you see the little marks where all the dye compresses in, and we get that gorgeous, gorgeous, you know, sort of embellished design on it. It's very, very pretty. They didn't just bring us the oval though, of course. We also got the label, and this is stunning. I think it's my favourite out of the 3 of them. It looks like lace work. It's incredibly pretty and a very dynamic card shape. So it offers us something different visually to what we're used to. Instead of your ovals or your, you know, squares in the plain shapes that we normally get, we get this stunning design, and it's going to work really well with some of the other designs. And honestly, if you create an 8x8 with this and put this on, it's going to look stunning. So absolutely get all of your use out of these. I love, love, love the idea of quick layered apertures. We also look at this.
Wow.
That's so gorgeous, isn't it? That beautiful framework from it. And again, imagine your apertures. You can see it really well here. If this was raised on foam tape, to have something on the inside of that just layered underneath. Very beautiful. We don't have to do too much when we have these frames because they're so delicately designed already. So you're going to create your showstopper no matter what you do. Your beautiful welcoming arrangements. Stunning board. All of your florals coming through the quality we'd expect from Carnation's artwork. So you get your roses, they're in different sizes so we can create full bouquets. You become your own florist here. How are you going to design your bouquets? We have beautiful vases at the bottom. They have cut line detail going all the way through so we can pinch them and they will become already dimensional, which is really, really awesome. We've got your tall reeds, lovely for DLs. When we create that border with those DL shapes, or you've got the smaller ones for those smaller pieces. Remember, everything with Carnation is snippable, so I can cut into these and create smaller pieces, and we'll show that as we go through the demos. You have decoupage elements here, but again, what we can do with these is create perspective lines. You've got the smaller one which will sit in front of the larger one, which will create a lovely perspective, great dimension, and you've got your little hall table. One of the important parts on this board is this piece here. So you've got your little triangular shape. That is actually a hook. And visually is a hook. You've got the 2 tabs at the bottom which will glue to this. This has got score lines going through it, and you fold it in, it becomes a beautiful flower basket. And it can hang just very delicately with little flowers tucked in. So you create the flower basket and then you pop some little flowers in. I'm going to demo that for you today so you will see it coming into action, and it's just very pretty. We create those lovely scenes. So it's just a way of designing in something that is very, very different. You can see an example of it here where we see the little hanging basket sitting with those florals tucked in. So that actually takes it away from the idea of wet weather, doesn't it? Suddenly we're onto an any season, any occasion card, birthdays, weddings, christenings, everything covered, and that's what we like. From there, we have got your beautiful scenery sets, if you like, where you've got your coat and you've got your umbrella, and you can imagine walking in to a hallway and your vestibule is all there, looking absolutely stunning, and it is just so pretty. You've got the coat hanging down. Again, those cut lines coming through. Those cut lines allow us to create dimension. They make it just very, very pretty. You've got the two hats here that are just stunning. And you've got your coat hooks as well. You've also got your umbrella stand, your shoe rack, and you've got your wellies. It's just very, very cute. Now, these are a tiny pair of wellies. They're very sweet. We have a gorgeous, gorgeous perspective matching. Now, what's important about the wellies to think about, Carnation give us mirrored vignettes, which means we have an image on both the back and the front of the piece. So if I was to turn this wellie over, it would still have a colour version underneath. That means with the cut lines that we've been given here, the little pips, I can cut between those wellies and have them both facing in the same direction.
I could have done with all of that yesterday. I got soaked.
Did you get absolutely soaked to the skin? Dave, I'm very sorry to hear it, because it was rather unpleasant. I, unfortunately, fell on my knee last night because I slipped in my hallway and landed very harshly on my knee, which I now can't bend, but there you go. Clumsy to the end. So you've got all of your elements here to create that greeting. When you walk into a door, it's that warm, cozy feeling, and there's nothing better, is there, when it's raining outside and you come in from the rain and you're welcomed into your own home. It's a lovely cuddle, and that's exactly what we get. Here's your big boy wellies. So these are the sort of, you can create the family scene, can't you? You've got the small wellies and then the big wellies, so you're creating that parent and child feeling, or indeed you're creating perspective. It depends which way you go with your card design. Simply stunning. Warm Greetings is a beautiful collection. It's going to take you a long, long way in your crafting journey, and it is absolutely stunning.
Beautiful. So that is the collection, and remember, as ever, we bring you brilliant perfect papers in the colourways that will complement the vignettes and the artwork. If you'd like to go for that today, lots of you go for both. Go for the main collection. Don't forget that ornamental stand as well, that's flying. But there are your Warm Greetings perfect papers, and if I pick up this card, it hasn't got a name on this one, but you can see how the perfect papers work so well with the actual artwork of the flowers, and then the artwork of the raincoat and the wellies as well. You're going to find that purple or lavender in there too. So it's all about colours that work together. And of course you have the block colour, you have the dotty design, and you have the diagonal stripe, the very fine diagonal stripe on there too, as well. So they're 48 300 GSM sheets of A4 cardstock, and that is only $14.99 if you'd like to order that today, 240219. And do remember, if you're watching us in America, you too can order as well. You've got cap shipping and handling, so wherever you're watching us around Europe, America, wherever, you can order as well via the website. Now let's show you some more finished samples quickly. Let's paint more pictures. Barbara Treadwell, one of the design team, is behind this one. It is like a cuddle on a card, because you've got that feeling of getting home after maybe being out on quite a wet and windy day, maybe walking the dog, doing the shopping for your folks, or that's what I was doing yesterday. That's when I got totally soaked. But look, it's gorgeous. Whether you just want a floral tribute or a floral display in a vase, whether you're using the rectangular, the label frame, or the beautiful oval, to get all three frame sets in this collection for under £100, but doesn't that just say welcome home? I love it. I mean, that could be a new home card, something a bit different. What I love is that sometimes, very often, Carnation think out the box. We've all seen floral dies before. We've all seen welcome home dies with houses and that sort of thing. But it's the subtleties and it's the things that go on around us that Carnation pick up on. The Mac, the Wellington boots, that sort of thing. So I think that's what makes Carnation cards so different. There's a different look at life, a different look at you know, our everyday lives, whether you're living in the countryside, whether you're living in a city or a town. This is all about kind of just shutting that door and thinking, I'm home now. That's what it's all about. 240213, the Warm Greetings collection, under £100 with, of course, Clear Pay and PayPal Pay in 3. But that ornamental stand, I've got to warn you, is going very, very fast. It's not just for this collection. You can mount and put anything on it, any card on it that you wish to display, or you wish maybe to display for sale. I can see why, coming on air this morning, 60% of the stock went just by literally having it on our website. Okay, so we're going to get in as many demos as we can in the show. I'm going to quickly say hello to some of you on Facebook. Hello to Yvonne Hodge, Eileen, Suzanne Page, Max Brown, Yvonne Hodge, Lorraine Bielkus, Maggie Holly, Beth Dawson, Sheila Parry, all saying hello. You bought the collection on the stand last night, Lorraine Marshall. So today I can put my feet up and watch the demos. That's what we're going to do.
Let's have a look at what you're getting in this collection in terms of what are we doing with it. I want to just take a minute to talk about the ornamental stand and how it works in two different ways. For the first demo that I'm doing today, I'll be making a card from it. However, it is a stand in its own right, and I did just want to quickly show you that so that you have definitely got a visual on both. If you want to make a card stand from it, you're going to use two of these pieces, so you're going to cut it twice. The artwork is exquisite, isn't it? Really beautiful. And all you're going to do is score at 1/2 inch on one, the same way we would make any card. And you're going to put some red liner tape on the top, and you're going to put that one on it. That's going to stick the both of them together, obviously, and that is going to create your card base. Now, they have provided us with a stopper here, and it looks like this. This is one of the dies you're going to get in today's collection, or sorry, not in the collection, in this particular ornamental stand die. It's got a score line going down the middle and two on either side. That means we can bend it in the middle, point it upwards, and then create two little wings at the bottom, like so. And so it's that shape. That will then be stuck to the inside of your card. So if I just remove this and do it as a visual, if I glue this little tab to here and this one to the one in front, when that opens, it will create a stopper. Now what that means is if I bring in this gold one here that's already been made as a stand, you can see it sitting here. And if I turn that over and I start to show you the inside of it, you'll see where that stopper comes into place. So just to give you a visual on that, so you've got the visual cue for it, you'll see it there. Wow. Now as I turn that, you'll see that it's stuck on both sides. And that is how that works as the card stand.
So you're showing it there with like a satin finish, like a satin gold cardstock.
That's been cut into a mirror, yeah, absolutely, and it's beautiful. You're in control. You're in the driving seat. How do you want to make it? But Carnation have given us exquisite artwork for it, which we can use. The last thing I'll say on that is that you also get your extra, what is, I suppose, a decoupage element. It's a matching piece. You're going to put that on a good size foam tape, and that's going to sit in front. If you've only got a low foam tape, such as a 3 mil, such as foam pads, double them up and that'll make it a little bit higher, and that then becomes your stand with your card being able to sit inside it. So super easy to make, and you've now got a card stand for every single card you ever make in the future, which is perfect.
Anything on an easel, it makes it more of a feature in the home or on the mantelpiece, wherever you're putting it, and also great if you're selling your cards too. What sort of weight of cardstock do you recommend for the structure?
Well, because it depends. So if you're using it as the vignette, what's a vignette? It's a piece of artwork that comes from Carnation. I'll go through that in a second, but if you're using it as a vignette, you're going to print it onto a 120 Pro print if you possibly can. That's going to then get doubled up, so it'll become a 240, so it'll have a nice strong base to it. If you decide you're going to put something heavier on it, my advice is to glue 2 and then 2. So you would have 4 of those structures 2 together, and that's going to create a really, really good support. However, for your average card, 1 on each side is more than enough. It's more than ample. But if I was to glue those together, obviously I'm then doubling up, and I would have a 480 GSM. So it depends what you're putting on it.
But the artwork, the vignette's amazing. I mean, the three-dimensional aspect of it, the shading and everything, it's so elaborate.
They're very clever at how they do things in order to give us a visual prompt of what it is and the shading around it. So we've got that, but it is absolutely beautiful as a card, card base itself. So yes, using it as a stand for every card is exceptional, isn't it? And like I say, when you've got number plates, even at a wedding, when you've got your table numbers, it would be beautiful, wouldn't it? But we can cut it in any cardstock that we want. If you want to change that up, absolutely, obviously go for it. However, as a coat stand in a hall, we'd all want this, wouldn't we? It's got that kind of French design. We would all want that coat rack. And so we can make it a card shape. Now it comes with an external die on it. And that external die, if I show you the metal here, I've got an extra die going around the outside. That's going to cut my card base for me. If I'm only wanting to create the stand, then obviously I would just use the inside piece of metal. So it depends what you want to do it. I like the fact that we've got the option. That makes life lovely, doesn't it? So again, I've cut it twice, and obviously I've got my red liner tape at the top. That's about 1/2 inch, slightly lower when I'm working on something like this, just to make sure that I can get it where I need it. And as always, we're going to fold that down face it towards the body, and we're just going to place in. I do apologise about the glue lines on the front. It's where it sits in my demo bag, and my foam tape just gets a little bit excited with itself. Now, where I've got my ornamental stand, what I've done here in order to create some shadow play is just used a nice thick foam tape on it. So I've got my T-bar going across. That's going to support it. And I'm just going to remove that and place that down into the centre point. And just place, I can't see over, so I do apologise if I'm slightly on the wonk.
It's the sort of thing you'd expect to see if you go into a stately home, an easel that elaborate.
Stunning, isn't it?
It is gorgeous.
And when you see the shadow play coming through on that background, when you raise it just slightly, it's just so, I mean, it's so perfect anyway, but it's so beautifully done. So then I'm going to use some very tall reeds here, and we're just going to play with sort of building up the scene.
It could also be like an elaborate throne almost. You could actually have like a little character sat on what could be the seat of that.
You could use, we did the mouse, didn't we, with the crown. You could use that, which would be beautifully done. So what I'm going to do is sideline this. So I'm going to use it as a border as such. So I'm just going to place in around about there. Place some florals down so that I know I've got a visual scene as such building. Now what I want to do is place this in front. So I need to make sure that my elements are sitting where I can visually see them. So now I've got that there, I can now work out where I need my vase to be, and I want that to just tuck, and it's going to sit there. So first things first, I'm just going to shape that out and bowl it so that I've got some dimension sitting through, and then I'm going to carry on working with my florals.
Susan Tither on YouTube says, morning all, love that phrase, a cuddle on a card. But that's what Carnation excel at, something different from the norm. Yeah.
It is. I think it's nice to work with elements that are not sort of widely available on the market, and because it's hand drawn, you get that sense, don't you, of something that's very beautiful and very well laid out. So it's nice to work with.
And I've always said it, just to know where the artwork is from, the fact that Nick and his team have behind every single piece of artwork that you get to craft with and you can sell for either personal profit or for charitable purposes. It's just great to know where it's actually originated from.
It is. Well, it gives us some form of like a feeling of security almost, doesn't it? You've got that idea of, I know exactly what I've got, why I've got it, where it is. So I want to place this down. I'm just going to, before I sort of commit to it, I know that the line that I'm going to visually see is here. Now I just want to place these as a little focal cue. They won't be sort of massively in the scene, but they will be there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of silicone gel glue, and I'm going to just place in, I'll tuck it below the vase so I keep my shape, and I'm just going to place in, because I'm going to slightly cover it anyway with this. So I'll place that on top, but I've got the prettiness from it. I've got a hint of a tint of colour just coming through at the bottom, and I'm then going to mirror that, of course, with my little shoe stand at the bottom. This is going to be placed on with wet glue. I'm using the applicator because I'm working in small areas. These can all be found on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Now you can see here this is going to be slightly longer because my foam tape's interfering with where I want it to be. The joy of Carnation, of course, is I can snip into anything and make it any size that I want it to be. So I'm going to get rid of those little pieces at the top.
That has got to be the most elaborate shoe rack I think I've ever seen.
It's got slippers on it, Dave. We like slippers.
But it could also be for a card for someone that maybe has got a few too many pairs of shoes, is known for having excessive love for shoes. Taz is nodding her head.
My shoe rack looks a bit like this downstairs, but it's my children's shoes, not mine. I think I own one pair of shoes to my name. I'm not big with the whole girly thing. It never worked for me. I just never found my feeting with it. Right, my feeting.
I must admit, I found a brand that's quite quirky, and I'm a bit addicted.
Oh, I love them. I've seen them. I like those a lot. Let's put our coat hooks here, just so that we can visually see at the top. I'm lining it with that centre point so that I know it's where I want it to be. That's going to be seated. I've now got my raincoat here, and I'm going to use my finger to just pull that round so I've got some shape to it. And I can see my little coat coming together. So I've got dimension, and I can place in. That's going to sit in the middle. Centre stage.
35% of the collection has gone, everybody, if you would like it. Remember, it's our brand new launch today here on our very own channel, Carnation Crafts TV. Grab it while we've got it. I'll go through it for you again in a second. But
Little hat.
Yep. Are you a hat person?
I don't suit hats.
I don't either.
I look like a maniac. So I like them, but I just don't. It's not a good look, Dave.
No. I think you would have a certain shape of face.
It ain't mine. I know that much. So I'm going to place these just at the front.
I looked all right in a police cap when I was a policeman.
Did you have like the proper? Was it in the days when you had the proper police hat?
Yeah, flat cap. Yeah.
Did anybody ask you if they could? You know, did any pregnant ladies ask if they could utilise your hat, Mr. Dave?
No, not really. It blew off in the wind once, which was quite funny. Rolled off down the main road, but
you know, if I'd have seen you, I would have asked, just out of badness. There is your gorgeous.
There is our first card of the show. We're here today between now and 10 and then 11 and 12 with more inspiration, more demos. Thank you for all your messages on YouTube and Facebook today. On YouTube, it's Charlotte Palmer, Morning Carla, Dave and Miss Taz. Terry says, I get to see a live stream because I can't sleep. Yay for me. Hugs to you guys. Hi, Terry. From a wet bath. Oh, as opposed to a dry bath. Annie Foxall.
That's Annie.
Hi, Annie.
Annie
Lovely collection, she says. Linda Gregory says, morning, everyone. Yet another wonderful collection. Ordered mine last night. Lots of you get in the day before. Morning, all. Love that phrase, colour on the card. Done that one from Susan. And Marie Craig says, hola, from a very sunny Andalusia in Spain.
It's right for some.
Yeah, lovely. And a very wet Britain. Well, not as wet today as it was yesterday. But that's what this is all about, really. It's that time of the year where you shut the door, shut out the elements, maybe you pull the curtains in the evening and just think, right, this is my space, this is my little haven of relaxation. If it's a craft room, it's your little haven of creativity. And this is the collection, the main collection today, called Warm Greetings. Okay, now you've got this wonderful collection of florals here as well, which you can use, you know, in any way imaginable. Obviously, versatility is key. When I saw these 3 frame sets, the nesting dies, I couldn't quite believe, I say nesting dies, you've got of course the frame, but then you've got all the different layers which you can use with your perfect papers to great effect. You've got your rectangle, your label, and then you've got your oval as well. I mean, they, back in the day, would have been £30–35 each. So to get all of this in the collection for under 100 is an exceptional deal today. Then down the bottom, that's where you've got your elements, you've got your rain mat, you've got your umbrella, you've got the shoe rack and the wellies and so on, and then you've got the larger of the wellies if you want to make that more of a prominent image, because wellies are designer now, aren't they? Very much so. You can spend a lot of money on wellies.
No, I can't wear wellies.
Can't you?
No, they never get over my calves. Haven't since I was a kid. Like, I realise I'm a big girl now, but even as a small child,
that's why you're
they
called
won't go over
Big
my
Calf
calves.
Carla.
Isn't that what they call me? In hushed voices down dark alleys.
Now the ornamental stand as well, that's absolutely flying if you'd like that. That featured of course in our first demo on the show today. There it is. You can use it of course with the fantastic vignettes. 70% of the stock of that has now gone. No surprises there. But imagine it cut out of like that satin mirror card that we showed you earlier on. Let me just pop that over there so you can have a little look at it. Carla's going to show it to you. Look how that becomes. And you can choose whatever weight of cardstock you want. Obviously the artwork is there for all of the collection and for this stand as well, if you go to the website carnationcrafts.co.uk. I know it's been a little bit of a religion for many of you. You buy the collection, then straight away go to the website and print off all of those fantastic works of art that Nick and the team have been working on. And then your dies will be with you in many instances the day after. Obviously we're in the hands of the postal services, but the guys in the warehouse, they will get your order picked, packed and posted in literally minutes. As soon as you place your order on the website, we're one of the quickest and most efficient companies when it comes to getting dispatch out to you. Many of you say, when we do like a 2-day launch, many of you say, oh, I received mine this morning or whatever, when you ordered it the day before. So we can't promise that, but we'll get it out straight away if you purchase it today. And don't forget the perfect papers, quickly, if you want those. They are 300 GSM cardstock, in these wonderful shades of lavender, lilac, pink as well, all tonal so that they just work with the artwork that you're getting today perfectly. So everything is going to match. If I show you a few more inspiration cards quickly, Barbara Treadwell has done this one using the rectangular frames and then using the oval, similar but a totally different look. I love this one done on the angle, really like that. I haven't got a name for that one, but whoever did that, lovely work. Really beautiful. So you've got your florals, which are suitable for absolutely every occasion, for every need. But then, of course, you've got the wonderful effect of the raincoat, the wellies, everyday life, really. That's what I think Carnation is so good at doing. Looking at what's around us, what we use, what we wear every day, rather than it just being a dye of a house and a dye of a flower. You've got so many more elements that are specific to the person that you're making it for. I mean, that as a retirement card or welcome to a new home card, it's something a little bit different. Someone who loves maybe the outdoor life, someone's always complaining about walking the dog in the rain and getting soaked. I mean, you know, we all know people that will relate to, and that's what Carnation do. They look at life and then reproduce those elements of life in these collections. It's brand new today and it's going very fast. 240213 99.99. Remember, you've got free P&P if you're in the UK. We've got capped shipping and handling for you if you're in the United States as well. So if you want to go for maybe the perfect papers and the collection, you'll be looking at maximum, I think it's $14.95, isn't it? Yeah, $14.95 if you're in the US. So fill your boots and don't let that ornamental stand pass you by either, because that is just the icing on the cake as far as I'm concerned. And then the vignettes, the artwork, we're going to see that in a second. I tell you what, take a little look at more of the finished samples, because this shows you what you could be creating with this today at Carnation. Amazing, and you can be making cards just as amazing as that in a matter of days. Now, the artwork we talked about, Carla's going to talk through the vignettes. You can print those off right now.
A quick run through of where you get them from. So you need to go to the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Go to the banner menu at the top, click downloads, and then free downloads. When the newest collection is out, it will show at the top of our website there. You can see the insert papers, new backing papers. Scroll down a little way and you'll get Carnation Crafts Warm Greetings Collection Original Colour Download. That's got all of the vignettes you need for this. By vignette we mean artwork. It means you can put your die on top and cut it, and in the next show hopefully we'll have time then to cut you some of those dies out so you can see them working. That's where you get them from. Download them to your computer and print them out on ProPrint if you possibly can. Carnation do the best ProPrint on the market. You'll find it again on their website, so please do fill your boots. If you're going to do a mirrored vignette such as this, where it has the black line down and we have an image on both sides, so by that I mean that I've got my wellies here, and when I turn it over I've got the wellies, the artwork on the other side.
Carnation were the first people to do that, weren't they?
I think they're still the only people that do that. So you need to use like a 120, because it'll come out as a 240, and that is your vignettes. That's where you're getting your artwork from, and then you will go on to cut them. In the next show hopefully we'll have time for a full demo on how to do that for you. For this morning we'd like to get through some actual demos for you so you can see the cards coming together, and then we'll explain that more fully at 11 o'clock this morning when we come back.
April Butts on YouTube says, I'm ordering now this as it's exquisite. Can't say that. I've fallen in love with ProPrint. What do I search for? Yeah, just go to carnationcrafts.co.uk and put ProPrint in the search box and it'll pop up for you.
They do. For all of you who are sat wondering what ProPrint is and you haven't had a go and you'd quite like to have a go with it but you're not sure, they do a taster pack, and that's got 15 sheets I believe in it as well, and that is on the website. You can try all 3 different weights of paper, of which there is a 120, 170 and 220. My advice, if you've never used it and you're unsure, get the 3 packs of the taster packs and print with them. See what feels right for you, what is comfortable for you for what you're doing, and then you'll know which are the bigger packs to get. Carnation's is the best in the industry. Right, let's have a look at some of these fruitful filigree frames. I'm going to have a look at the label one, and so I have cut the base, the largest die in that set. I've cut that twice. I've scored at 1/2 inch. I think it's actually 3/4 of an inch, but I've scored it across. I've folded it and I'm going to put that towards my body, shuffle, and that's going to get my tent card shape perfect. Okay, so that goes down. It's a beautiful size.
I do love that shape.
It's lovely, isn't it? And it's both nice on the vertical and on the horizontal. Have I got that right? Oh, my brain does not like those things.
Portrait and landscape.
Portrait and landscape. There you go, Dave. Thanks, thanks. Now, I want to just talk to you very quickly about your apertures here. Now, I'm not particularly using this as an aperture in this example of a card shape, but I do want to show you very quickly how it works so that when you get it home, you are perfectly aware. Yes, I'm sitting with a knife. No, that's never sensible. So if I take this and I just cut across those pip lines, you can do it with the scissors, but it's actually easier with a craft knife, I have found. I should theoretically be wearing my glasses for this so I can see actually what I'm doing. But, you know, who wants to go the sensible route? So I'll
Craft
go down
knife
here.
and no glasses.
And me.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster if ever we saw one.
Could be.
And so we're just going to cut those pip marks away. They're really easy because it's there. I'm not having to slice the whole thing. I just need to go in where the little pips are. It's all designed and made easy for us. Now I've got that, I can take it away. Now, if I had an alternative colour, if I'd printed this, cut it in pink, should I say, I could have an instant layered aperture. Okay, so you can see how that works, and I can do several layers with that because I've got 4 options of snippability there. So I can snip into that into different ways, and I can create different colors going beneath it. If I do that and I'm just using my inside die here where I'm creating that, and I did say 4 elements that are just this shape, not the whole filigree, but just this shape, you're already going to get some height on it, aren't you? You're going to have that little sort of chunk of this piece underneath. And so when you put your foam tape in, you're going to get the most exquisite dimensions. So I did just want to point that out to you because I think it's important. For this one, I'm going to use the whole thing. Now, I'm actually not going to use any mats and layers on this demonstration. I'm going to go clean. So I'm going to go white on white, and white on white is super pretty. Normally speaking, I would tell you to raise it up so that you can create a difference between the layers because white will eat itself. However, because the filigree is so extraordinarily pretty on this, as I lay it down, I'll get my shadows. So it will automatically give itself an impact, and that's a joy, an absolute joy. Right, what I've got, and I want to show you, so you've seen all of your elements coming together, is my hanging basket, and I love this hanging basket very, very much. It's very simple to use. I've got 2 score lines. I'm going to fold one in on itself and then the other in on itself, and instantly I have a hanging basket with dimension. It could not be easier to make.
Or a flower pot.
Or a flower pot, it can be either. I'm just going to place through some wet glue, not too much, and place that down. And then I'm just going to pinch, and that's going to hold that together so my adhesion takes place, and then I've got it sitting. Okay, so super pretty. Now I've got my little hanger. My tummy is making some very strange noises. I apologize if you can hear that. I'm going to place that on. So I've got that sitting at the top. It's going to be my focal point for this. And I'm going to put my hanging basket just at the bottom here, so it's just going to sit. In order to do that, I'm going to use these little tabs that have been provided to me, so a small amount of wet glue on each one, and then place that through and push. That's going to give me my hanging basket in place, and I know it's going to be. I don't need to hold the whole thing down, it can swing, so I've got that dimension for it. Now I'm taking 2 florals here. I've got my little foliage and I've got my larger purples. I want the foliage to sit, and I think that that top one may be a little too high for what I'm trying to achieve. So what Carnation have are little pip marks that allow us to cut into all of these vignettes. That means I get great snippability and great craftability.
Carla, 40% of the stock of the collection has gone. Now the Warm Greetings collection, be quick if you want it. Remember, today we've got 2 shows, this one and the one at 11. That will be your last chance to see this demonstrated, so grab it while we've got it.
So what I'm going to do with this is take this, and I'm just going to snip into this floral and take away that little excess, so I'm left with the flower below it. And just make sure I don't snip the head off the other daisy. Now what that means is, now that I've done that, I've got a floral that's just slightly leaning over to the left, and then I've got a piece of foliage which is going to seat behind it and give me that gorgeous texture behind. So just by that one snip, I give the foliage a little bit more center stage. So I'm now building my floristry as I want it to be, and that is all of Carnation's goals, is to give us all of that craftability, snippability, and the way of doing things that are our own. So just placing this in and creating the most gorgeous little hanging basket seated there. Okay, very, very pretty, and my foliage is doing its job. I think that's gorgeous anyway. And listen, I think if you put a sentiment on the bottom of that, you've got something really, really exquisite. But I'm going to use my 2 wellies and I'm going to use an umbrella. Now, I wasn't going to do this originally in demo, but I do just want to show you it. You see where the wellies bend in the middle? It's just held with 2 pit marks. I could theoretically pull those apart. It will leave me with some fibres hanging from the paper, so I do advise the use of scissors or a craft knife. But what that means is I can now have my wellies facing that way, okay? Or I can have them facing that way. I suddenly become the creator and I'm not dictated to by a die. And that's really, really important, and it's something incredibly unique to Carnation. So I can take that and pop a little bit of wet glue just on the inside here. And I'm just going to shape that round just slightly as one whole piece, where they would go around the calves for those people who can get wellies to fit their calves. And I'm just going to place on.
I mean, where you live, to be fair, Carla, is welly country, isn't it?
Yeah, but
I've never seen so many green wellies in one town.
I don't leave the house though, Dave, so the wellies are less important to me than they are to those people I see going past the window on occasion. Agoraphobia makes my life a lot easier when it comes to wellies, so there you go. Right, I'm just going to pop my little umbrella just inside here.
We are in the town of Barber jackets and green wellies.
It is a little bit like that here, isn't it? Let's do the babies as well, and we'll seat those in the opposite way just so you can see them. I think that's a really lovely card just as it is. I'll be totally honest, I'm not sure I really want the other pair of wellies in, but we're going to do it so that you can see the difference in size, because I think as a little pair of family wellies, it's just very sweet. I got to tell you, when my children were little, one of my favourite things was to see them in their little wellies.
Jumping in the pond, or in the,
yeah,
not in the pond,
there's
but in
something
the puddles.
delicious about babies being in their little wellies, and they both had little frog's eyes on their wellies, and it was lovely. I'm just going to place these on here.
Have they still got them now?
Nope. Nope. They're all into designer trainers these days.
Oh, okay.
I'll just place that just off to one side slightly, so you've got the babies sitting in front, that little brolly coming through. Take a note just to note the colour, so the lavender that's coming through, that purple colour, that scent, is also reflected in the brolly and in the florals above. You can't go wrong with Carnation colours. They will always work in tandem with each other, including with your perfect papers, which are the best friend to your collection.
I reckon we got time for one more demo as well before the end of our first show today. I've got to say hello to a few of you that are messaging on Facebook though. Pearl Farrier says, hi all, this collection looks good, especially like the card shapes and the card stand and the flowers and the wellies, in fact all of it. Yeah, brilliant, absolutely. Suzanne Page says, ordered most of it yesterday afternoon, but ordered a few more bits after seeing the flowers. Mary Morgan is in Virginia, USA. This is an amazing collection. Thank you for your messages on YouTube and Facebook as well. But this collection is going very fast. Let me show you. Oh, Taz.
Dave, I can't write fast enough. We've got big stock updates.
Go on.
45% of the collection's gone.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
80% of the stand.
45% of the main collection gone, 80% of that ornamental stand, that beautiful ornamental easel. Look at the cards you could be making from this collection though. I just think it really kind of works. It kind of hits the point really, really well, where you just shut the door, shut the world out. You're looking at lashing rain on the window, wind and rain, that sort of thing, and you're in your own little bubble of luxury and coziness. But Janine has done this fantastic easel card with this. So to get 3 different shaped frames in this collection is exceptional. To get the rectangle, to get the label, to get the oval as well. So you can make just beautiful, Barbara Trebell's made this one, beautiful floral card with the flowers in the vase in the centre. If you want something a little bit more whimsical, you've got your designer wellies on this one with the umbrella as well. Pam Simpson has made this. But then, of course, when you bring in the easel, then the whole thing takes a massive leap as far as the luxury side of it is concerned. That's probably the most ornate easel I think I've ever seen. It could be, though, adapted into being like a throne or a chair if you wanted to put a character on it instead of flowers. It's entirely up to you. And of course, it's a brilliantly innovative and decorative way of displaying your cards if they're for sale. I mean, this is the easel without anything added to it. That's the vignettes that have been printed out onto good quality cardstock. You've got, of course, the band in the middle to make sure that the card doesn't open too far. But that is so elaborate. To display your cards for sale or to display whatever you want at home, the cards that you want at home, it's magical. And that's the artwork you can print off for all of the collection and the ornamental stand by going to carnationcrafts.co.uk. Take a look at what the design team have been doing though, because this tells you more and shows you more of the potential of this collection. Quickly before our final demo of the launch show today here on our very own channel, Carnation Crafts TV. If you've just found us, we're here with our launches regularly, so make sure you like us on Facebook and search for us on YouTube as well. You can always see previous shows back as well and previous collections if you have a little look on YouTube. And of course, all of our artwork, the vignettes as we like to call them, for all of the collections you'll find at carnationcrafts.co.uk. That's our website. You can go there from wherever you may be. If you're watching us in America or Europe or whatever, you can order. You can order in the UK as well. But this collection launches on our channel today. First time we've had it today, and lots of you are saying how much you love it. But we have got enough time for one more demo. We'll try and get another one in before 10 o'clock this morning. What do you want to do next, Carla?
Let's have a look at doing a floral display, and we're going to use the oval fruitful filigree frame for this. So you can see it coming together in a different shape. We used the label shape in the last demo. We're going to use the oval in this. So again, 3mm foam tape taken halfway down to create those tabs so that I can get my perfect papers exactly where I want them. Now I can't, as I say, lean. It is easier when you're at home to lean over so you can see where they are going. Now for this, I want to use the filigree. How pretty is that? You can see the difference now that I'm using a perfect paper. But I'm going to do an insert for it. So I'm just going to pop the pink just in the center and place that on top, okay? So I get a hint of that colour, but it's not protruding over the edge of my filigree, and that's just going to make life a little easier for me. I'm going to use a bit of wet glue. Sorry, Dave.
I love what you do in giving height to create shadow. That is such an effective technique.
I love shadows.
Yeah.
Shadows are free, Dave. We like shadows. we like shadows.
Free.
We like free. We like shadows. I just think there is because it's easy. Creating a shadow is easy, but visually very impactful. I'm going to place that on top, just like so. Okay, so I now have that central point. I'm going to cover most of it, but what I'm trying to do is create depth of colour. So when I put those flowers in and we're creating that bouquet, I've got a depth of colour. I've got an array of florals here that I'm going to bring in, and I want just to note the difference in sizes of them because I've got my smaller roses here and the taller roses next to it. Now in order to make that work, I can snip into all of these in different ways to create different heights so that I become the master of my own bouquet, and that's what I'm looking at. The tallest one that I've got is my rose. I don't want both roses sitting at the back though, because that seems a shame. They're beautiful, aren't they? They're gorgeous artwork. So the first thing we're going to do, put this one down. We're going to start building up.
Even a single red rose is really impactful, isn't it?
You can make a card just with one rose easily. If you put that straight and put a sentiment across, you've got a beautiful card. There's no real reason to over egg the pudding unless we're trying specifically to, to do something in that way. Now my foliage is slightly shorter. It will go to the height, but I want it to be higher, and that's fine because I'm going to layer in. So I'm going to place this slightly higher here. So it creates, can you see how we're creating this beautiful shaping out? It's gorgeous, isn't it? You can see the white filigree with the roses, very pretty. Now, in order to create a little bit of width, I'm going to go in with these bad boys. And I've got two of these. One of them, I don't want the width from. So the first thing I'm going to do is place this in, just at the lower level. And now I'm going to start working with the idea of snipping in to create exactly the dimension and shape that I want. I need to disperse my colourway.
I think a lot of us don't think about snipping things away.
When it's so important.
Exactly.
Now, I don't want to cover what I've just done. So we're going to cut away this stem again on this one. So I can do that. Leaning over, so I'm opposing my rose. and I've still got the poke of my foliage between. Okay, so I'm creating layer, depth and dimension. Now I want my second rose to come in, but I don't want it to be seated just underneath there or, you know, over it so that it becomes silly. So again, I'm going to snip, and I'm just going to use that bud, snip above or below, turn that round so I've got it facing the right way.
And you know what looks right composition wise on your card. You can add things, you can take things away.
So I'm just going to seat them underneath each other. Okay, so now I've got opposing colours and they're next to each other on the colour wheel, so they're going to look beautiful because you've got your purple and your pink which sit next to each other on the colour wheel. Now I'm going to go in with more foliage, so I'm going to centre this one out to build. I want some width but not as much as I had, and I want two of these. These are the smaller ones, so I'm just going to snip into that and into that, and I'm going to use these to divert across so I get the fullness but without so much of the bustle.
It's a good word.
Bustle.
Yeah.
It's used an awful lot in the town that I live or am from. They use the word bustle a lot there. The hustle and bustle.
Hustle and bustle.
Now I've got my little roses here. There's too much foliage for me at the sides on if I'm going to use two. I don't want the two of them, so I'm going to snip that in, pull this down, place it upon-st. Same again, but this time I'm getting rid of the foliage from the other side because I need it to, you know, converge as such. So we're going to take it from this side, snip in, yep. Place down, and then I've got that little daisy that we cut off, can you remember? From the top. That's just going to seat in the front. It's going to be my final seal of colour. I don't want my workings to show. I don't like it showing. It doesn't look tidy. So I'm going to take these,
Suzanne Page, you know I said that our dispatch is very quick. Suzanne Page on Facebook says, just had an email to say that my order has been packed and is being shipped. Happy, happy days. Can't wait. There you go, Suzanne. Told you. Yeah.
So I'm just going to snip into this, just cutting round, follow those pip lines that I've got that allow me to just snip round. You can see I can just pull them. If you just pull them though, you will tear those fibres. So just use your scissors and let the pip marks go. You can hear it cracking as I'm going round them. And just pull in. One final shape, just let's get that decoupaged up. Silicone gel glue, dimension and height, and let's finish that bouquet.
Beautiful.
Now, my oval is going to have trouble standing on its own. It's going to want to rock back and forth, of course. Now, it will stand. If you're using an oval, take your stand.
Perfect.
Place it in and lean it, and you'll get a really beautiful, gorgeous card stand
So
with
not
those
only
gorgeous filigrees.
Not only with warm greetings have you got the perfect collection to make the most amazing cards with, but now you've also got the stand, which is your display solution, whether you're displaying to sell, whether you're displaying at home. 85%.
Limited.
Oh, approaching limited stock on the stand now. I'm not at all surprised. Are we going to have any of the stand at all when we get to 11 o'clock this morning? Because that's when our next live show will be. Yeah, it stands out to me as well as being something that every card maker will benefit from a display point of view, at home, and when you're trying to sell your cards as well. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. Maybe you want to put something else in the stand. It doesn't have to be a card. It could be a very fond, maybe you've got a certificate or something like that you want to display. A photograph, yeah. Anything at all will fit in that. It is an easel for your cards. Think of it like that. 240218. Will we have stock at 11? That's the big question. It's only $29.99, which for something as elaborate and as beautiful as that is exceptional. And of course, the thing is, the artwork is always free for you to print off if you go to our website, which is carnationcrafts.co.uk. And the artwork for this easel is some of the best I've seen. Just look at the detail in that. All of that artwork, it's not been done by us with a pencil or with a crayon or anything like that, or with paints. It's been done by Nick and the team, and you can print that artwork off. When the die arrives in the next day or two, you could be cutting that out, and isn't that just the best $29.99 you've ever spent to be able to create easels like this? You could even make easels and sell them empty so that people can buy them from you to display things they want to display at home. So $29.99, 240218. The main collection, approaching 50% of the entire stock of the main collection has gone. This is what you're going to be getting. You get, unbelievably, 3 complete frame collections up the top here. You get your beautiful rectangle, you get a stunning label, which looks almost like a faceted gem, love it. You've got your oval as well. So those 3 frame sets, if that were $99.99, I wouldn't think that was excessive. I think that would be a good price, £33 each, but you get so much more in addition to that because of our discounted price today. You've then got this, which is your welcoming floral arrangements, all the different beautiful dies there, and of course the artwork for that, like everything else, is free to print off right now at carnationcrafts.co.uk. And then you come on to kind of the storytelling side of it, where you shut the door and you're in your little bubble at home and everything's warm and cozy and the wind's lashing, the rain's coming down, but you've come in from walking the dog and you hang up your raincoat, you pop in the bucket your umbrella, you've got your wellies, the smaller version, and of course the shoe rack there and the coat rack too, and then you get the bigger version of the Wellington boots, all with artwork to enjoy and print off right now. So whatever you do, don't miss out on this. The stock is going quickly. We only have one more scheduled live show, that's at 11 AM, so in just over an hour's time. I'll let you know then exactly where we stand, especially with the collection of the ornamental stand. But if you want the main collection, which is your perfect your warm greetings, then just check out on the website and it'll be on its way straight away. And don't forget perfect papers, your everyday glue, everything else Carnation is on the website if you want to build a basket, and that works great for us as well. And of course it's free P&P if you're in the UK. If you're in America and you put the perfect papers in with the collection, your maximum shipping and handling will be $14.95. Okay, thank you for your company. This the launch hour here at Carnation Crafts TV. We're going to be back in about an hour's time at 11 o'clock with more demos from Carla and more updates for you too. See you then.